having played them in the grand finals last week, what do you think that they need to bring in their gameplay against Acend this time around?
It's tough, isn't it? Because you want to try and match the pace of Acend, but this also is the kind of the perfect time to experiment a little bit. Try and work out what beats this Acend roster. Like, try and be the David to the Goliath, because honestly, Acend just don't seem to be able to drop a series at the moment. I mean, like, you go back a few iterations of this roster and they've not dropped a series since October 2019. So they're just a crazy team indeed.
We have our series layout for you, and I want to know your predictions, but I also want to know why. So, like, what you're thinking in terms of the series layout. If we can leave the series layout up just for the lads to kind of have a look at. Gaskin, I'll start with you, mate. You know, what are you thinking in terms of a number? You know, obviously the grand finals last time, it was pretty swift. It didn't kind of elongate too much. But this time around, are you feeling a couple of maps dropping the way of HMCA?
In terms of game types, the only same game type that they played against each other last week was Aquarius CTF, and that was 5-1 in favor of Acend. But we may not even get there, because remember, it's the 3-0 last time they faced against each other. You know, I do think that Recharge is a good map for HMCA. So I certainly think if they can get their hands on that ball for a decent amount of time, if they can control the map and just keep Acend at a distance, not allow Acend to prioritize holding the ball and then being aggressive onto them, taking them down every time on spawn.
They are the red hot team. They have all the momentum on their side, but they've run into Acend, who've been an absolute nuisance, an absolute brick wall when it comes to these EU Pro Series. Who's going to come out on top?
Someone's O has got to go then. And our first stage is set. It's going to be Recharge, and our game type going to be Oddball. It's all about controlling the sandbox. You see all those goodies up for grabs: camouflage, shock rifles, thrusters, grapples, repulsors, all the good stuff that you need to secure game number 1. And here we go then in our winners finals, Acend against HMCA.
And looks like we're starting right on board with Sica, getting a sick kill indeed, taking out Riotz, and then starting off with a double kill right onto Lunny. So the early ball's not going to go in the hands of Acend after the triple kill being put in by Sica. 4 down go HMCA, and Acend are absolutely on a roll.
Sica wasting no time, putting 3 members of HMCA into an early grave. Scoring will go in their favor to boot. Seen a fight go down over towards pipes, but early engagements did favor for a moment Acend, but all of a sudden they go 3 dead.
Phlux going right in for the challenge, ends up getting himself an early assist, and now has ball time in hands for HMCA. Currently down with a bit of a deficit here, but now we're seeing the setup start to gravitate over towards this this A side of the map. We have 2 players under control, 1 player holding down gold, so a good setup for HMCA, but they have to stay alive and they have to get the slates.
Important that Phlux holds his ground as he plays that ball there, right down towards bottom middle, but these teams going back and forth early doors, and you've seen that in the scoreboard, 19-14. Neither one really able to put a real stamp on the match, really trying to dictate the pace. And this is exactly what we call for, Tony. HMCA trying to go hammer and tongs with the boys on Acend.
Snipedrone cross-map shots here from Whirlpool. It has his teammates flying. That's what I love about this Acend roster. You notice as soon as that call-out comes in, you have multiple players collapsing on. He whips out the Mangler, goes in for the challenge over here towards Whirlpool. And while all this is happening, Lqgend just sneaking away with that ball, getting some cheeky ball time in. The spawners are coming in. That means HMCA are going down in numbers. Acend holding on to the setup.
Fantastic job out of Acend. Then shock rifle putting down a couple of shots into the back of Lunny, into his spine. That's going to sizzle him up just a little bit, and Lqgend on hand to take him down. Can he turn 1 to 2? Unfortunately, no. Phlux shuts that down real quick. 3 dead momentarily for Acend. Then ball has been played. Score 36-19 in favor of Acend.
Phlux with the camouflage in hands, gonna sneak over towards this tower, towards this A side with that Mangler as well. So probably the most important player on the map. He can definitely make something happen, but he does not want to waste this camouflage here. As I say that, the camouflage does end up getting put down, and now it's just him, but still Mangler in hands. Excellent shots going in, putting that player down to 1 shot, but the nade comes in, putting him back there, and he's gonna go down. 2 down go HMCA.
It's an absolute slobber knocker then over towards this pipes area. We'd like to see one of these teams get their hand on that ball and rotate it towards safety. That's exactly what we're seeing out of Lunny here. Shots go down towards pipes once more, and this time, Lunny's on the receiving end of a fresh 4-shot.
3 down once again, HMCA. Actually, all 4 players. This is the setup that Acend want to see. But the player's actually spawning over towards back goal. This is not looking good for Sica. Man, the nade comes in. He's going to go down quick. They had all 4 down momentarily, going in favor of the boys in red. However, the spawners come in, and they quickly put the ball carrier down. So now we're back onto even footing. But Lqgend off a screen ends up getting the double kill. Shaady now going to chase down Ramirez, puts him down. 3 down, go HMCA once again as Camouflage comes up. The setup once again going in the hands of Acend. We're looking good right now. 58-21, it looks like, in counting here for Team Acend.
Acend in the ascendancy. 3 members down, though, and ball played over towards that batteries area. We haven't seen Camouflage player for the moment, so perhaps someone's going to have to try and get their hands on that very, very shortly, but it could be very big, and HMCA need it more than Acend do here, Tony.
Sica trying to battle out for the ball, sadly not able to do so. Phlux comes in quickly for that kill. Ramirez able to get away with the camouflage, so now HMC have a chance to get the slays they need, taking down Lqgend first, but not able to get the double kill onto Shaady. Still 2 down, go Acend, make that 3 down, go Acend. HMCA now have a chance to make a run and hold on to a setup of their own. Lunny chasing down Sica over towards long haul, and the ball staying over towards that A side of the map. This is that dominant setup that you want to see, but they need to watch the push possibly coming over from control room.
They have that setup, but 3 members have gone down. It's been broken immediately. They counteract that setup once more, and they start to rotate it over towards pipes again. And 63 now the score and counting, all the while ticking up in their favor. And HMCA down a man once more, so they're on staggered spawn, have to wait for a full complement of players before they can make the push they need to break this setup. A ball has been dropped in the meantime here, Tony, and these 2 teams trying to trade back and forth, and we're seeing 2 members go down here. Make it 3 for Acend.
And that 3 down is exactly, once again, what HMCA needed. Sica doing a great job of grabbing that ball and throwing it out towards the middle of the map, literally almost disregarding his life, because the best thing to do is play the ball into a baitable position. That's exactly what he does. Meanwhile, Riotz is taking some heavy damage over towards top gold, finally going to be taken down. Numbers still in favor of the boys in blue, as Riotz still down. Shaady taking some damage as well. Shots are starting to ring out, and he's going to go for a flank, catch a different angle, and ultimately staying alive.
Shots continue to be exchanged. This time between Shaady and Phlux over towards this whirlpool area. Going to see another camouflage pop up once more. It was HMCA who secured it for their team last time around. Unable to get anything cooking with it, though. I'd like to see an improvement on that side of things, but 80 seconds and counting here. Camouflage has been picked up, but was it Shaady getting the burn?
And now only 10 more seconds needed here for Team Acend. They're looking very comfortable here with this long haul set, but especially as that player going down to 1 shot. It's going to be Riotz dropping the ball to get the melee kill, but HMCA are answering back. Lunny ends up getting a double kill, switching on board with him. He has to stay alive. He has to defend this ball. They can easily come back here if they're able to get the slays. Lunny going down to 1 shot. Phlux off the screen, taking down Lqgend. And now we're seeing that long haul setup now switch hands over to the boys in blue. 50 seconds in counting here for HMCA. They've reached the halfway point of this game, but they have to play near perfect Halo if they want to come out on top in this round number 1.
Time heavily against them then. Only 35 seconds on the clock. They need to keep the ball in their hands. Unfortunately for them, though, Riotz is the last man standing, and they only need 4 more seconds for dead. Round 1 goes for Acend.
Shouldn't be surprised here. Acend are very good here on Oddball Recharge. They get the slays they need, and they're so objective efficient. The moment those slays go down, they hop onto the ball, they hold onto their setup, and they're so damn hard to kill. That's what makes them so hard to deal with here. As we're going to start on board with Sica on round number 2. Now, mind you, in order to overlay over towards the bottom, a little bit of a glitch here. It's actually a 1-0 lead in the round here going towards Acend. They're 1 round away from coming out with the win. Meanwhile, HMCA would have to win back back-to-back wins. Snipedrone making sure the area is clear, grappling the ball over towards himself. Numbers going back in favor of Acend. That means they're hopping right into their lockdown setup, and he wants to take advantage of this camouflage. He has the goodies, so he passes the ball over towards his teammates, and now he's just going to take advantage. Goes right in for the challenge on Ramirez, who actually accepts it and puts him down.
Both men threw gloves down, challenged one another to a duel, and it was going to be Ramirez that comes out on top this time around. Lunny in a fight with Shaady over towards pipes. Legend's got the backstab here, though. Lunny's in big trouble. Hasn't got long left for this world and is taken down, but not before getting a trade. So big plays out of Casey, but unfortunately for him, 2 members down apiece, but ball in the hands and pipe setup controlled by Acend.
That it is, and the trades are going to go in here, but one more player within striking distance of going after the ball. It's going to be Phlux going down to 1 shot. He's going to have to challenge Shaady, and he ends up coming out on top, so 2 down, and ends up getting the double kill. He takes down 3 out of 4 members of Acend, and because of that, Phlux ends up coming out with this ball. He's the leading slayer on this squad, always having the highest KDA, and you're seeing it right there, taking out 3 out of 4 members to break the setup that Acend was holding.
Important to note there as well, Phlux had his hands on the ball, but the call and the communication came through that I'm feeling myself right now. Casey, you're going to hold the ball instead, but look at that. Casey drops the ball, puts a fresh 4 shots into the boys on the stand, and he gets even more time on the board. That's exactly what you need if you're HMCA. Do exactly that. That's what the doctor ordered.
Is that what the doctor ordered as well? That what he prescribed, to fly off the map, getting the gap, the mind right there. Player gonna fly right off of the map in style, at least, as 2 down go HMCA. Shaady having the height advantage, but he is gonna be taking some heavy damage. The information is in, but his health are not. Luckily, he's still able to get away with the ball, going right up to the setup because numbers going back in favor of Acend. I talk about it all the time. In a 4v4 scenario, you cannot be the first player to go down when you're going up against Acend, because they will take advantage of those numbers immediately.
The recipe for success we called out. HMCA needed to stop the aggression from Acend, dictate the pace of the match. Unfortunately for them, they've kept it nice and scrappy, but haven't been able to stop this Acend dominance. Time and time again, they're putting scores on the board. The kills go in their favor. Lqgend and Riotz, 2 members down apiece. We're seeing Ramirez also hit the respawn screen. So although kills are going back and forth all the while here, Tony, it's Acend who are more objective efficient.
Nades are starting to fly in here as we switch on board with Ramirez. Ends up getting a big kill. Oh, that's the hold of the shock rifle. Gets the assist. So Ramirez doing a great job of neutralizing the push coming out of Acend. The shock rifle absolutely deadly. They want to get it out of his hands. So you're seeing multiple players start to funnel in, and Phlux gonna catch that grenade. Not sure he meant to do that. 3 out of 4 members going down, and the boys in red are going to take advantage. Their setup once again being held, and they already have 61 points at the moment.
It was 4 dead momentarily as Phlux caught that little furry grenade stuck to his face, and once it gets there, it latches on, takes the holdie, and blew him right out of his boots. And 75 seconds to score now to 21. HMCA have it all to do, and they're staring down the barrel of game 1. Fear and risk losing game number 1. Lqgend hitting 4 more perfect bursts onto Ramirez this time, and there seems to be no way to stop this dominance.
And this is crazy. This is the winners bracket finals that you're seeing right now. HMCA have been red hot for the last 2 weeks, but Acend picking up exactly where they left off, and it's absolutely incredible to watch. Shaady coming out with a big kill, now going in with the challenge with the Mangler, ends up taking down the double, but not able to get the triple. Luckily, they're finally able to take him down. Still, damage has been done. Acend are looking so dominant on this map here, and they hold on to a 60-point lead. How are HMCA going to bounce back?
The damage is done, and Acend looking to keep them bleeding. 82 seconds now to 22. Perfect 4 shots out of Sica once more. Miss a shot, god damn it!
Sica holding down this gold side, goes in, beautiful play with the plasma pistol, taking down that player. Now the setup is still being held here, but it looks like somebody wants to join the party. I guess not, because game number 1 going in favor of Team Acend in this best of 5 series.
Acend doing Acend things once more, and HMCA, again, they look good in patches, but unable to make them bleed first time of asking. So game one's in the books, Tony, and Acend showing no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, there was at least 2 times where HMCA was able to put Acend 3 down, and they did take advantage of those numbers, but for most of the time, I would say maybe about 80% of the game, it was all Team Acend, and it reflects in the scoreboard. That's a 200-75 win going in favor of them and the Slays. Every single one of them able to put up over 20 kills and double-digit assists to go along with it.
Looking at the scores and the doors then. HMCA a little bit off the pace in terms of Slays. Not by too much though, you'd have to say. Damage as well. 2 members of their team hitting over 6k damage, matching Acend. So not much to separate them in terms of Slays, although there is about 10 kills. But in terms of Oddball, that's not really huge or significant. But we look at the score, 275, 2-0 lead. What did HMCA do wrong there, and what can they do to improve next time around, Tony?
I mean, honestly, it's tough because I feel like they were doing the best they can. I mean, in the 4v4 situations, you have to be willing to slow things down. Even if that means you sacrifice it a few seconds worth of ball time, I'd rather them sacrifice 5 or 6 seconds worth of ball time and formulate a push together and take advantage of the easy slays than ultimately them funneling one at a time and taking these individual gunfights and ultimately losing them to Acend, who are either winning their individual gunfights or forcing the 2v1s. HMCA need to be able to slow things down when it's a 4v4 scenario, get one easy pick, and then take advantage of those 4v3 numbers. That's exactly what Acend does to you. You have to flip that back on them, even if it means slowing it down, as you saw Ramirez literally flying off of the map right there. But he started going up too, got his hands on the shock rifle, and showed us what it was all about. Sadly, it was not enough. Acend take game number 1, and now we're going into Live Fire Slayer, which is much better for HMCA. They are currently undefeated on this map and game type combination, but I'm not sure if they played against the likes of Acend.
There is signs of life then. Perhaps they can level up the score in the series here 1-1. And Tony mentions how they're on a one-way ticket towards, they're filing in single time and time again to Acend. And unfortunately for them, that just meant that they were going straight into their death. And if they continue in the same vein here in this Slayer game type, Tony, we'll see a 2-0 very swiftly.
We just might, and that's not going to be good for HMCA whatsoever, because as I kind of alluded to before, they haven't been able to get a single win on Streets. No matter what the game type is, they're literally 0-4 when it comes to these pro series. So they need a win right now. If they fall 0-2, I'm going to be very worried about them getting swept here in the winners finals. And that's also going to make me worried about their mental going into the elimination bracket, because again, this is a momentum driven squad. From last week, having an incredible run, being knocked down by Na'Vi in round number 2, fighting their way all the way to the elimination finals, and then getting their revenge on Na'Vi to earn their right to play in the grand finals. Then they've taken that momentum into today, where they literally went undefeated until running into Acend. I love the momentum coming out of the squad, but I don't want to see them drop into the elimination bracket without winning at least one game. They need to make their stance right here, right now. Play this Slayer like it's a game 5.
Game 2 then. Live Fire Slayer. HMCA find themselves down by 1 map in this best of 5. Important to note, they've been very, very good on Live Fire Slayer, like Tony alludes to, so perhaps they're going to get the job done. Here is the best chance of it to tie things up, and we're seeing a contestant coming down towards that sniper rifle top middle. 2 players of Acend scamper away to bottom middle.
That they do. And Snipedrone actually taking some stray grenades, going to try to play his life. It looks like Sica is not able to get his. And Snipedrone is still one shot, trying to take advantage of that Mangler drop tech, but the heat wave shots are flying in somehow. Snipedrone able to get away with his life. Shaady goes in for the challenge after getting the body shot with the sniper rifle. So beautiful plays coming in out of Acend, and Shaady still able to get away with the long gun. Can he keep it and use it to his advantage here? 3-3 tie for both of these squads. Oh, not
what can he do? Yeah, what can he do with the wig wobbler then? Uses it as a bit of a baseball bat for the time being, picking up 1. 5 kills to 3, the score. Ramirez and Lunny, though, hit the respawn screen, and Riotz says, I'll go and join there. That looks nice. I'll hit there with you. So 7 kills to 4. Shaady transition over towards Nest, always staying on the move. That is why this team is so impressive, Tony. They're not happy with standing still, setups. They keep on moving. It's so interchangeable. They're like fluid.
I agree 100%. I think Shaady plays at another pace. He's so quick. He gets in your face, and then once the damage comes in, he has no problem disengaging and playing his life here, especially with the sniper rifle in hands, trying to make some moves. And did that player just fall off? I'm pretty sure that player just took a dive on the map. What just happened, Jersey?
It's a splish splash, and he was taking a bath, and Shaady's gonna join him as well, straight in the drink, and that Frenchman can't swim.
We're now going to switch here over towards Ramirez. Hopefully he can swim because he's about to get repulsed off the map. Goes in for the trade onto Lqgend, and Acend are starting to put some good points on the board. It's 15-8 going in favor of the boys in red. We're actually on board now with Sica, actually switching gears over towards Snipedrone of Team Acend, holding down the sandbox and able to get in with the double shot melee, but they're losing numbers. 3 down go Team Acend. HMCA needs to take advantage. They need to hop on these spawns and make Acend uncomfortable.
You can see some of these European players already have their eyes on Valencia, trying to get into that water. Maybe the hotel swimming pool, but they're going to need complimentary armbands to stay afloat here. HMCA. Riotz goes down. 18 kills to 12 to score, and Acend showing no signs of slowing down. Ramirez isolated back tower. He's got 2 members descending on him, and Phlux manages to pick up one onto Lqgend. Top middle, Lunny standing strong, but shot in the back, taken down, eliminated.
Ooh, and Phlux coming in out of nowhere, flanking over towards tower. That's going to be a big kill, but Shaady answering right back, able to get himself the heat wave repulsed once again, but finishing him off with that power weapon right as the sniper rifle is coming up here. They have to control the sandbags and the seaside. It looks like they're able to do so, and you know what Shaady's going to do with this long gun. Takes down Ramirez immediately, but not able to get away with his life.
Controlling the sandbags, controlling the sandbox. Sniper rifle was momentarily in the hands of Shaady, and he's managed to put one in the grave before being taken down. Heat wave and sniper rifle still positioned top middle, and Lunny's going to find himself a nice little present there. Thank you very much, and doesn't have to sign any paperwork. Free as you like. Finders, keepers, and losers, weepers. Lunny, heat wave in his hand, but it's cursed. He can't get a kill.
And it looks like Shaady's going to go down as well, thanks to Phlux. So a 2v2 scenario, make that 3 down, go Team Acend. HMCA finally starting to get some numbers advantage with Phlux being so annoying with that repulsor, able to milk his life as long as possible here. And now we're back on board with Snipedrone. Mangle in the back pocket, overshield coming up. Both of these players wanted. Only one can get it. The assist going to come in. Beautiful teamwork coming out of Acend, and they've earned themselves this power up.
Oh, you say that, but hold on a second. HMCA have got different plans, but Sica on hand to secure that for his team, and Snipedrone expertly gives that communication over to the Frenchman. Sica puts a couple of shots at the Riotz while he was no shields, and that's going to be enough for his teammate to pick him up in the kill feed. And Phlux in the respawn screen. Ramirez positioned back green. He's like completely isolated once more. And there we go. 3 members dead. Lunny, Ramirez, and Riotz. Phlux last man alive over towards this sandbag. So forces spawn for Ramirez to pop up and eliminate the rest of that overshield. And Phlux gets 1, but Lqgend turns him in.
Great job for Phlux to play his life and even take a player down with them before being taken down, but still, they need to start getting these 2v1 scenarios or these 2-0 scenarios. They cannot be trading off kills here with Team Acend, which is exactly what you're seeing right now. Finally down to just a double-digit lead, 42-32, still going in favor of Team Acend, and Sica's now going in for the bottom mid flank.
10 kill lead then, requiring 7 to win the game and close out for a 2-0 lead in the series. We've seen players go back and forth. Shaady picks up another one. That's going to be Ramirez. Sent to the black, and that's a double kill, and 3 members go down momentarily. 4 dead, only requiring 3 more now. Acend looking dominant.
That they are, and only 1 more kill needed here for Team Acend. Multiple players are down on HMCA, so it looks like Acend are going to hop onto these spawns. Power weapons are coming up, but not going to matter as this kill is most likely to come within the next 5 seconds. Finally, Snipedrone able to get the kill. It's going to be a 50-36 win. Team Acend have gone up 2-0 in the series. They're now 1 win away from stamping their ticket once again into the grand finals and having that wonderful advantage with coming out of the winner's bracket, only having to win 1 best-of-5 series to become your champions.
And we were worried, Tony. We talked about how if they go down 0-2 in the series, you spoke about how Live Fire was going to be their saving grace, perhaps an armband for them. But the issue is now they're down 2-0 in the series, and now Streets Strongholds is our next game type. And we have seen the lads beat Acend on this particular game type, so they're not impervious. There is some holes in their game, but do you think HMCA can match them stride for stride here in our next game type? As we look at the stats, and you can see once again, Lunny just under 2k damage. Is an off game for him, and he doesn't have many of them.
I mean, you're definitely right. The lads were able to pull off a win on this very game type of map combination. And even though HMC are kind of similar to the lads with their run that they've made in that second week of Pro Series, sadly, they are two different teams. And HMCA are not a good Streets team. Again, I said talked about before, they're 0-4 across all game types on Streets. They haven't been able to pull off a single win here in the Pro Series. So if you're asking me if HMC are going to win this against Acend, the #1 team come out of the Pro Series, if I got to put money on it, I'm saying no all day. I'm saying that Acend are going to pull off this 3-0 victory here. I think if HMC were going to steal a win and maybe get some momentum, it had to be on one of the first two game types, like you said, before we actually got into the game. And sadly, they weren't able to do so. And I believe Acend are going to come out on top.
Let's entertain the idea then, Tony. What do HMCA need to do here to come out on top in this Strongholds game, and perhaps a lifeline in the series to maybe make a run at this game 5 and this potential for reverse sweep? What are the keys to success on this Street Strongholds game?
Yeah, most likely has to happen is that one of the players on Team Acend need to be traded mid-series to force the actual disqualification, because you can't compete with 3 out of 4 players. You have to have all 4 of the members. So somebody would have to be traded on that roster mid-series. Now, I think just like with anything, HMCA have a chance. They have a puncher's chance. I mean, Acend are not, unbeatable in every game type, and Acend want to push for that trip cap a lot. I think you have to kind of counteract. I think you have to play to their aggression, kind of play their aggression against them. If they're holding on to an AB setup and they start to push for that trip cap, great. What you need to do is fight for that Bravo control, get those slays, and keep them spawning over towards C. Meanwhile, you play a much more simple brand of Halo. Hold on to that PD and that Bravo side, keep that height advantage, look down at your opponents, and keep them forcing towards C. The moment they go in for that trip cap, you need to click. You're going to start spawning over towards Cafe, or you're going to start spawning over towards PD, and you need to fight for Bravo. You need to win those gunfights and keep them spawning down there. You want C so bad? Great. Spawn down there.
Well, in game 1 and 2, we spoke about how it's key and important to hold the sandbox, control the power weapons, the power-ups, all those goodies. And unfortunately, what we have seen is Acend do just that in game 1 and game 2. So to turn their fortunes around here, HMCA, they have to get their hands on that rocket launcher bottom middle.
Oh yeah, the rockets are just, it's 2 quick kills, and with both of these squads being as fast as they are, the moment those slays go on the board, they're going to immediately be in the strongholds. There's no timing loss whatsoever when you're talking about professional players of this caliber, everybody being as objective efficient as possible. It's just that Acend, not only are they fast, not only objective efficient, but they also win all of their gunfights. And most of the time, you can't even catch them into those individual gunfights because there's a 2v1. Once that call out comes in, they are flying at you and making you as uncomfortable as possible. And that to me is what makes Acend such a dangerous roster.
And everybody at home, if you want to know how all this is transpired, you want to get caught up on the Halo history, please head over to youtube.com/Halo Esports. That's where all the Halo competitive stuff is going to be. That's your hub, and you won't need an incognito tab, although you will see some dirty clips.
That you will. Let me tell you, we've seen some dirty clips across all of the Pro Series, NA, EU, even some ANZ. Just like Acend is, there's a team called the Chiefs that out there running ANZ right now. Both of those squads are undefeated throughout these Pro Series, which is crazy to think about week after week. Acend have seen maybe like 5 different rosters flying at them week after week, and every single time they've been putting them all down, and not being defeated in the tournament. They haven't even dropped down to the losers bracket. They haven't lost a single series. How crazy is that?
It's madness. And you think about it as well, Tony, all 4 regions are being dominated by the same team week in, week out. We're seeing 4-peats almost for everybody. I think we've seen the ANZ region lock in the 4-peat with the Chief. We've seen the Mexicans also lock in the 4-peat once again. So we're seeing these regions, it's almost like everybody else is playing for second place. And that's what we're seeing certainly here as we do load into our game number 3, Streets Strongholds. And HMCA have it all to do because they're staring down the barrel of elimination. They could be heading down to the lower end of the bracket very, very shortly if they don't turn things around right here, right now.
Well, wouldn't it be crazy if the first team to pull off a win against Acend actually did it in reverse sweep fashion? That's what HMCA have the ability to do right here, right now, pretty much making history, not only beating Acend, but pulling off a reverse sweep on them. That would be absolutely crazy. Like Shaady said, it's about controlling that rockets over toward the middle of the map. The moment you lose those rockets, you will be put down in numbers and you will have a difficult time spawning up without that pressure we're putting on both sides. So I want to see if HMCA can answer Acend's aggression with maybe some aggression of their own and some efficiency as well. We're going to find out here on game number 3. Acend, 1 win away from moving into your grand finals. HMCA having a mountain to climb. Shaady, take it away.
And here we go then. I've just headed over to Halo Waypoint and I've added reverse sweep to my cart. I'm just adding in my payment details to see if I can lock it in before time runs out. 2 strongholds though in favor of Acend. 2 members also down for HMCA. Not the start they would have liked.
You're right about that because it looks like almost going in for the triple cap. However, it looks like Ramirez having something to say about that. The trades come in, so at least they're able to hold on to Charlie. Meanwhile, Riotz was able to grab hold of the rocket launcher, sneaking right behind enemy lines. Most important player on the map right here. His teammate is going to go down quick, ends up shooting the rocket, but not able to get the kill. Puts that player down to 1 shot. His Snipedrone coming in for the bait and switch. The kill comes in. And Acend starting off on a roll. The trip cap is in. 52-0 run going in favor of the boys in red.
Seeing Riotz trying to cause a little bit of ruckus, but unfortunately for him, he was turned down before he could really get going. A and C in control of Acend. Make that a triple cap momentarily. We're seeing Lunny positioned over towards station, and he gets a lovely few shots into that player bottom tower. Going to be Snipedrone on this occasion. But they're fighting for their lives here, trading back and forth for the strongholds. But unfortunately, as it all goes on, 2 strongholds have been in Acend's control, at least bare minimum, since the very start of the game, Tony.
That it is, but HMCA was able to put Acend 2 down momentarily, as that matters much because Snipedrone immediately going to answer back, and the spawners are coming in over toward the cafe side. So it looks like HMCA were able to steal away Bravo, but Lqgend is stealing lives at the moment, taking down Lunny, and now starting to up the tempo. They want to still be back.
Lqgend looking to rebrand then to the Grim Reaper as he takes lives and doesn't give much in the way of resistance. We're seeing 2 more kills go in his favor. Riotz and Lunny hit the respawn screen. Lqgend's not missing.
When does he ever? When does he ever? That's another kill coming. Ends up getting himself a double kill. Ends up getting a killing spree. Lqgend is absolutely making legendary plays, and he's well aware that the spawners are flying over towards PD, not slowing down whatsoever. The trip cap is in. 150-0 run going in favor of Acend. This is not just a series, it is a message.
Acend playing lights out. A message. A massacre. That's what we're seeing unfold before our very eyes. Lqgend's gonna come in here, but unfortunately, Sica, with a heat-seeking rocket, locks on. Control C, gets the reset. Here's the Sentinel beam. What can that do to melt the shields? The microwave. It can sizzle, it can pop. That's damn right obnoxious is what it is. What can Sica do? Back tower. Face to face with Ramirez with a bulldog, and it barks and it bites. Sica gets taken down.
The referee taking a close eye on HMCA, ready to call the fight at any moment, because it looks like this might be a TKO. Acend are absolutely looking unbeatable right now. Lqgend actually taking down into right. Off the screen, Shaady going right at Ramirez. Finally, Lqgend ends up going down, but still it's a 2v2 scenario, and it looks like the double cap still in favor of Acend. Sica winning the big pivotal gunfight. The nade flies in to put Phlux down to 1 shot. Another nade comes in for a finish, and HMCA were not able to steal away Bravo, and now they're going in for a trip cap once again.
Tony talked about HMCA having a puncher's chance. He spoke about how the referee has now got a close eye on this. I think the coaches need to have a look at this. Throw in the towel. They haven't looked in the fight, HMCA. That's how dominant Acend have been. 250, a clean sweep in our winners finals.
Wow. I hope you guys didn't go get some popcorn. I hope you guys didn't use the restroom or even blink, because it was over just that quickly. You are now seeing the dominance of Team Acend. In case you guys are new to EU Halo, Acend are that dominant week after week. They've not been dropped into the elimination bracket, and that right there was a reason why. Acend are so good. And mind you, again, HMCA, that was not a good game type for them. They haven't been able to win a single map on that throughout the Pro Series. So it was Ascend's best game type going against HMCA's worst game type, which led to that 250-0